Okay, so here we are with another Masters of the Universe Origins unboxing, and this one's been a long time coming. This is Mantenna, evil spy with pop-out eyes from the evil Horde. And I got this one a while back. You can see on the cross-sell artwork, we've got 2000X, He-Man, and Skeletor, which you remember I opened those a long time ago. Yeah, this guy I picked up, and for whatever reason, just never got around to opening him. And when I was moving, I saw him in the pile of stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, Mantenna. Should probably get around to opening him sometime soon. And then, getting settled in over at my new place and everything, it just took me a while to get around to him. And I've got one more Origins figure coming up, who also happens to be a member of the Evil Horde. Probably open him up tomorrow. Leech, evil master of power suction. So one of the things that disappointed me about the Horde, I'll go ahead and address this, is they, for whatever reason, decided to make Grizzlor, who I consider to be like one of the core members of the team. They decided to make him like some kind of website exclusive. Like I think it was whatever Mattel's website is called currently, and I wasn't able to get him, and I doubt I will be able to get him. So that's disappointing. But I guess I'll just have to use the vintage one in display with these. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, Mantenna, he was one of the first Horde characters to come out in the original line. We're going to discuss some of the differences between this and the original, which I don't own and have never owned the original Mantenna. But weirdly enough, I somehow wind up getting Mantenna in every single other line, whether I want to or not. Like he's one of the. I wasn't able to get a whole lot of Horde characters in the classics line either, but Mantenna was one of the ones that I just happened to have the subscription that one year, because that was the year that they had King He-Man, and I wanted to make sure I got that one. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. Well, first let's have a look at the artwork on the back, because we always like to have a look at the artwork on the back. And Mantenna, he's using his ray against a couple of the Snake Men. And it says, the loyal spy for Hordak uses his protruding eyes to fire electrical blasts at his enemies. And I do seem to remember Mantenna. I could be mistaken about this, because like I said, I didn't have the original one. I do seem to remember him being like a skinnier fella than what this figure looks like. And that might be because of like the way he was interpreted on the cartoon or whatever. But I don't think they did a very good job with his mouth, but I do think that that's accurate to the original toy. I think where like I think it's supposed to be like kind of like a leech-like mouth with like a hole with like a bunch of teeth and a ring around it. But for whatever reason, like the black part is the part that seems to be over. Well, we'll just go and open it up. I should probably be able to get a better look at it there later. It says eyes really pop out, so that's nice. Read this comic book yet. I probably have, because yeah, it's the same one that came with the 2000X He-Man and Skeletor, and probably also Pighead. I never got Pighead. So Pighead was one of those ones that like there was that box set of Sunman figures at Target, and it seemed like they had like a whole bunch of them. And I'd probably be able to get those on clearance, but they just disappeared as soon as they went on clearance. So I guess somebody snagged all of them in my area. So I was never able to get those, unfortunately. Snooze, you lose. My own fault. So there we go. Got rubber tabs around each of his elbows and all four of his shins. So, but it's one rubber tab for each pair of shins. Yes, Mantenna has 4 legs. The original Mantenna figure had 4 legs, but the way that it was sculpted, each pair of legs was like one solid leg, so they were both kind of merged together. But for this version, they actually do have Mantenna's 4 legs as 4 separate legs. So seems like it's kind of an awkward way to get around, but whatever. It definitely gives him a unique look as far as these characters go. Going over his articulation is going to be fun. All right, so the original Mantenna figure had a device that made his eyes pop out, and this one has that as well. So we got a little lever on the back of his head, and it can make his eyes bulge out. They don't quite go back in all the way. They get kind of hung up. There, I think I got it fixed now. So yeah, you can use his eye beams. And I remember on the cartoon, he could also like hypnotize people and stuff like that. Does the head pop off? Yes, the head does pop off, just like with the other ones. It looks like it's a softer rubber on the inside of it. Most of his head is like hard plastic. His ears are kind of like the softer plastic. But it seems like the softer plastic is for the joint on the inside as well. So that way we can go ahead and do that. So, and then his arms should pop off like any other Origins figure. He does have the little paper that comes with him that shows us what all parts are supposed to be removable. So let's go ahead and open that up and have a look at it. So there we go. Now his arms and his legs are kind of like this very dark blue kind of color. It's so dark it's almost black. And I do remember that the original toy, it was a much lighter shade of blue than this, but still a very dark shade of blue. It was, I'd say, about comparable to like a Hush Batman or something like that, if we've got that in context. So let's go over his articulation. He can look up about that far. He can look down about that far. Tilts his head kind of quizzically from side to side. He can turn his head all the way around. We're going to turn his head to the side a little bit so we can talk about the arm articulation, because his head is so wide it will get in the way of his arms if I don't. So his arms do rotate all the way at the shoulder, as all He-Man figures do. But since it's Origins, they can move up about that far as well. So that's nice. Set down to the side about that far. He has a single joint of articulation at the elbow that bends about 90 degrees. And it was already bent like that in the package, so it straightens out about that much. And of course, it does rotate at the elbow as well. His wrist rotates all the way around. And he can turn at the waist all the way around. Legs can kick up about that far, or kick back about that far. And he's got 4 of them. So, got about 90-degree range of motion at the knee. There we go. Toes point down about that far, toes point up about that far. Of course, the knee also rotates all the way around, and the ankles are on rocker ankles that can move all over the place. Now, Mantenna does come with 1 accessory, and if a Horde character is going to come with any 1 accessory, it's always going to be this crossbow. This is their traditional weapon. And of course, the crossbow will clip to his forearm, right at the wrist. Come on, let's get on there. There we go. There's no handle, just a clip. And you can press this button, and it makes the crossbow kind of, shoot forward a little bit. This one's not working quite as well for whatever reason. But yeah, so never was particularly impressed with that. I just pretended like it fired a laser beam or whatever. So, but yeah, all the Horde members come with these crossbows. So it's just the traditional Horde weapon. So with all 4 of these legs, it's kind of hard to get it into a position where he can stand. I think I about got it. So, but yeah, he's a pretty creepy looking dude. Mantenna was never my favorite member of the Horde. I don't know if he was really anybody's favorite member of the Horde. I think most people, outside of Hordak, obviously, probably Grizzlor actually would have been the most popular one, which, again, why would you make that a website exclusive? I will never understand that. But he definitely is one that, I think brings a lot of character to the team. And while he might not be your absolute favorite, he's definitely one that I think most people would want to have him at least standing in their display of the Horde. He's a good sort of army builder for the team. Not army builder in the sense where you'd want to build an actual army of Mantennas, but he is another one that kind of adds some add some flavor to the group. You probably wouldn't want him to be your main guy, but you'd want to be glad that he's around. So I've got Leech to open. I'll go ahead and do him tomorrow. This is a pretty short video. There just wasn't really a whole lot to talk about with Mantenna, I guess. It's not a bad figure. I like the paint applications. It's an interesting color scheme. I do wish that they made the blue a little bit brighter because I don't think that it really necessarily needed to be that dark. But you know, whatever. And I wish they'd done a better job with the mouth because the mouth is just kind of strange looking, like just this asterisk on his face. But yeah, not a bad figure. So but that's pretty much it for this one. Sorry it's so short, but that's like really all there is to talk about with this guy. Not that I'm disappointed to have him or anything. You know, he's a good figure. I'm glad to have him, but you know, there's not a whole lot to him beyond that. So, but the eye feature is pretty neat, isn't it? So, anyway, we will bring this one to a close. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you like and subscribe. All the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Mantenna. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.